Hello friends, you're with the Lonesome Gamer and I'm playing Europa Universalis. Now we're at the end of the last turn and well, for most players not too much happened actually in this round. The Ottomans basically consolidated their empire. There's no unrest left anymore. They made an alliance here with the Emirati. That's pretty much it. They didn't expand really or anything. The French are in a similar position. Oops, their army just collapsed. They also basically got rid of their unrest. They liberated a Champagne, which was controlled by rebels. And yeah, that's pretty much it. The English also, not too much happened there. They tried to improve their influence, increase their influence in Scotland, but it's hard for them to get anything done. They don't have too much power. So at the moment, they're also just preparing for the next turn, basically. Similar situation in Poland. It was a weird turn. Somehow it felt like things were planned and then shit happened and it couldn't be executed. Like the Poles wanted to invade here, the Emirati, and at that turn when they wanted to do it, the Poles made an alliance. So bad choice here. So therefore, yeah, they were kind of forced to do something else. So what they did is they also liberated Podole, which was controlled by rebels, and now they probably will declare war on Circassia to get at least some ports at the Black Sea, which is one of their missions. The two powers that actually did something really interesting were the powers that were also involved in the Italian wars, which have been activated. That is Austria and Spain. France should have also done something, but they didn't. So the Austrians attacked Venice and went pretty well. They're going to be able to vassalize Venice, I guess. For the Spains, it went directly in a different direction. They really blew this turn. Their goal was to vassalize Naples, which was hard to do. They don't have the right card. They don't have enough influence. They worked toward that. And they wanted to attack central Italy and grab one or two cities. That would have been sufficient to get a good result in the Italian wars. The problem was they kind of invested too much of their resources in colonial activities. They managed to get the first colony in New Granada. They managed to destroy the realm in Central America, but that took away their resources they would have needed down here, especially their military resources. And now another problem, we have revolts here, partly triggered by the piracy of Barbarossa, and Gibraltar kind of revolted and is now an independent state again. Murcia revolted. The town is occupied by rebels. So every ambition to act in Italy was basically partly destroyed by their own lack of focus and partly by this event here of Barbarossa. So that was a bad turn for the Spaniards, and they're going to lose victory points because of that. And it could have been exactly the opposite. This was a very critical turn for the Spaniards. If it would have all worked out, they could have made kind of like, I don't know, 6 or 7 victory points this turn. And this way, it probably simply goes down and they will lose 3 victory points. So overall, that was a horrible turn. And maybe, in a way, it could have been a turn that could have decided the game to a certain point at least. Yeah, so I could easily see it that by the end of the game, we will look back to this situation with the Italian wars, where we say, hey, if the Spaniards have played during this turn better, more cleverly, they could have been much more up the scale and maybe won the game. Okay, so let's continue. We still have 2 events left, the Italian Wars number 2 and the Flourishing Trade. And it's the Turks again, but the Turks already have passed. They were the first to pass. Now we see France, and I think France will also pass. It's interesting, the 2 bots are the first to pass. So there we go. And that, because they passed second, they gain an additional cube. And now the Spaniards. And I think the best they can do is kind of to repair damage. So I'm trying to at least get back Murcia, and I don't see many other options for me. So first I have to do a reorganization here. I definitely need 1 cube here at military, and I'm gonna check what cards I have. Well, I got the naval tradition, so maybe I can try to do a few exploration actions. 1 or 2, that would be at least something. Spaniards will play the naval traditions. That will make exploration easier for them. So that costs $2 and a diplomacy cube. And in return they can place now cubes here. The English are in a situation, they still have cubes, but there's not really enough cubes to do things. They have 3 military cubes, which is great, but I don't know. I mean, they are kind of interested in going to Ireland and capturing that, but they don't really have enough. It's not enough. I think they would need probably 4 to actually take that out with their 3 cities. They don't have cannons, so they need 3 cubes to siege. I think that won't really work out. I also have no army, so that's if I had an army I could probably do it, but without an army I have to spend a cube to recruit, and then I probably won't have enough. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play Thomas as an advisor for $4. That's a lot of money, but I'm going to do it anyway. I would love to spend my other card and hire another advisor, a diplomatic advisor, but that is a subjugate card, and I'm going to need that to subjugate Scotland next turn. So therefore, I'm going to take Thomas. And then, after playing that advisor, the English will pass. That still gives them $2 that they actually do need. They're not in a good shape financially. And I was actually hesitating to get this very expensive guy. But on the other hand, these cubes are so critical. Maybe not that, I don't know. But I'm gonna do it anyway. So I get $2, which is good. The Austrians, they want to siege Venice. So, do they have cannons? They do. So they could actually siege more than one city, but that's not really necessary if they want to vassalize Venice. Then it's enough to siege the capital and one province in another area. I wonder if they get victory points if they do more. I'm going to check that. So actually, Austria doesn't gain anything from capturing more provinces. Therefore, I'm simply going to use 1 cube to occupy Venice, to siege Venice. And that's then sufficient to reach my goal. The reason why I don't want more is, or why I do want to vassalize them instead of annexing them, is that I cannot annex them. And the reason is down here, Crete. You can only annex a realm if you completely control every single province. And there's also one here, by the way, Zara. So that's another one that we cannot control. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't see that. So it's going to be hard to take out Venice completely. But, as I said, we can vassalize them by controlling a province in another area and the capital. The Poles still want to go to war. They will declare war against Circassia. That costs them a cube. And so we need a marker. There we go. And because there is no battle immediately triggered, they are allowed to move their army. They can move through Allied territory here. They have an alliance with Crimea. And then they're going to enter here and attack. So that shouldn't be too hard. Circassia only has a single soldier. So the Poles attack. They don't use a general or anything. And that is enough to destroy Circassia. They fire back. They also do a damage. So that's it. And that means the Poles win the battle and they get their cube back. Back to the beginning. Turks passed, French passed, and it's Spain. Now, I think the Spanish will do another naval exploration. They're going to use a diplomatic power and the naval traditions. And this time, they're going to move here from the Central Atlantic to Africa, the Southeastern Atlantic. Yeah, there's a connection here. C, you can see that. So right there, they're going to place their ship here. And they're going to roll a die. So as long as they don't roll a 3, they should be okay. Fuck that, man. And it's a 3. That's not good. So they might lose a ship. I'm gonna spend a cube, and I hope that it's not another 3 or a skull. Okay, it's another 3 with a skull. Great. This is a great turn for Spain. So I'm pretty sure they simply completely failed. They lost their ship, and oh boy, what a disaster. They don't have any diplomatic cubes left. Oh God, I hate it. Yeah, they simply lost their ship. Oh man. Okay, that's it. We continue. It's the English already passed. The Austrians still active down there. Not quite sure what they want to do. They still have a few military cubes. I think I want to get rid of the unrest here. I think that makes a lot of sense to me. So I'm gonna spend 2 military cubes. I'm gonna flip these 2. And that's it. It's the Poles again. They will now siege Circassia, spending their last military cube. And we're already back to the Spanish. I think there's not gonna happen a lot. They don't have, maybe they could hire a better advisor. They got Carlos. They can get Francis for $4 though. That's expensive. They do have $4. So you know, I'm actually thinking about doing this. That gives me 2 more diplomacy cubes. That's pretty awesome for my with my naval traditions. I can do a lot of exploration then. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna fire this guy. I hope I can do it, just like replacing him. I've got to check that. I couldn't find it explicitly written in the rules, but thematically, I mean, it just makes sense. I can simply fire an advisor and hire a new one, and I don't have to wait until one dies or something. So I'm gonna do that. It also does not forbid it. At least I couldn't find it. So I think it's okay to do it. I think what you cannot do is you cannot simply exchange your ruler. I think you can actually do it if a new ruler for your country shows up, but I could not exchange some generic guy and place him here, for example. Or if I have a generic ruler and I find a better generic ruler, I think I could not simply exchange them without this person that was there before dying. So therefore, I think with the ruler it's a bit of a problem, but I don't see that issue with advisors. England passed. What about the Austrians? They still have a couple of cubes left. And yeah, actually I remember I wanted to do something, and I was thinking about, I got the man of the church. So this guy would allow me to, Austria itself is Protestant, which is weird. And I could use this guy to kind of change this again and make it Catholic again. But I think I prefer to take a cardinal instead, because then I'm the uncontested, I got uncontested influence here in the papal curia, and that will give me victory points by the end of the turn. So I think I want to do this. I'm going to spend $2 and an admin cube. Oops. And that kills this guy, the French cardinal. And what's interesting about that is I have now 3 cardinals in there. And everybody else only has one. So I might actually hold control. On the other hand, yeah, I got this one. So if one of them places a cardinal, then I immediately lose control because I only have 2 left, and then one of the others would also have 2 left because he's now the oldest cardinal. So, yeah. But for this turn, I'm the uncontested controller, which is good. So the Spaniards... Oh man, did I... Fuck. I fucked up with the Spaniards somehow. I don't understand. I don't quite get it. I wanted to do... Did they already do a reorganization earlier on or not? Why is there only a single cube in there? I find that weird. I was pretty sure that I still had the option to do a reorganization so that I could move in here and do that. I might have only placed a cube there and then did nothing. I think that's... I don't know. Somehow I think I messed up here. I don't know. I don't remember. Fuck it. The Spaniards blew it. I don't know what went wrong. It was a terrible turn for Spain. They had great possibilities, but they fucked up everything. I mean, everything went wrong except maybe for this war in America, you know. Maybe that's bad karma if you wipe out, if you commit genocide. And I mean, that was really a terrible turn. Okay, so we'll leave it at that, and yeah, Spain is really in a bad position. So that means they basically have to pass. They could move the army in here, but that doesn't really help them. I could do it, but I might as well pass. I can do that next turn. So I'm gonna pass, grab the $1, and that was just a complete waste. Okay, yeah. The Austrians, I guess they probably will also pass. Yeah. Okay, the end of the turn is triggered by that. And now I think the Austrians simply also pass. There's not a lot I can do. I still got a couple of cubes left, but I basically, it was a good turn for me. I managed to achieve my goals, and I'm going to make a lot of points. Yeah, that was good. The Poles, they also did fine now down here at least, and they don't have a lot to do anymore. Wait a minute, maybe the Austrians, they might actually appoint, yeah, they're going to appoint a leader, an advisor. That cost them $2, and they bring Edwin into play. The Poles are the last, and what are they going to do? Well, they got these 2 options now. They got to take basically an event card. I can go with the Italian Wars number 2, or I can do the Flourishing Trade. Now, the Italian Wars give me $8. That's pretty good. The Flourishing Trade only has 2. I could fuck up the Spain's even more and get me a... that's interesting. Yeah, I can get me a cube, a diplomacy cube, or I can play this and grab a military cube. And $8. That's a really good option. What am I looking for? Here, I get only 1 military and 2 diplomacy. It's both not great. The other option would be the Flourishing Trade, but that helps the Spaniards and me. It's pretty much the same. I could play this though, grab 6 ducats and expand a maritime trade node for free. I could do this. I could expand the Black Sea trade node. That could be interesting. So I'm really not quite sure what I want to do. Yeah, I might also consider expanding the Baltic Sea trade node. Maybe that's long term, that's the better choice. Both interesting. Getting a cube, expanding a trade node. I mean, I only will get 2 diplomatic cubes. That's not a lot. You know, I'm actually tempted to take this, the money, and the cube. And I can screw with the Spaniards. I'm going to roll a die here. On a 1 to 4, I'm going to take the Italian wars. Yeah, that's a 3. So we're going to do that. I'm going to grab the Italian wars. It gives me $8. And I will ease tensions. So Castile loses a victory point. What a nightmare for them. This turn is so terrible. They gain 2 influence in one of the areas above. So I mean, that could actually help them. The problem is they do not have any diplomatic power anymore. So even if they meant to get enough influence, for example, in Naples, it's not going to be enough to do this turn. So let's see where they want influence. It's Lombardy, Central Italy, Venetia, Naples, or Sicily. So in a way that actually helps Spain, because when you gain influence via an event, you are allowed to kick out enemy influence basically. So they can place 1 here and they can get rid of 1 French cube. Now they got an influence of 4 to 1. And if they now do a marriage with Naples, they will have 5 influence here, which is enough as the tax value plus the enemy influence. So then they could actually vassalize Naples. So that kind of helped. But yeah, they don't have any diplomatic power left. They don't have a subjugate card left. So they can't do it this turn. Okay. However, they could take... wait a minute. That gives a diplomacy cube for the Poles. And now the Spaniards can take Carlos I. But do they want him? No, they don't. Definitely not. Fernando is the better leader. He's got a diplomacy value of 4. So they're not going to take him. They are happy with Carlos. They are happy with Fernando, I meant. So this card simply goes away. And now the pirate is placed. This is the only secondary event here. So the pirate is placed, and that happens via our auto resolution. So let's see where the pirate goes. There we go. Place the pirate ship into the trade node with the most merchants. The first tiebreaker are expanded node, then random. Okay, so... And eventually we got to fight these pirates. It's gonna getting more and more annoying. So we got 2 merchants here. So I guess there will be a second pirate now here in Bordeaux. And yeah, that's definitely, I mean, there we're at the point where we simply have to fight these fuckers. Poland took an event. All these guys passed. Austria is done, and Poland is also done, I guess. Yeah, Austria will pass. Poland, they can place an advisor. No, they can't. They don't have one. No. So no. Yeah, I think that's it for the turn. Everybody passed. And we go to the end of turn routine. Yeah, so let's see what happens. So there was no rebel activities, there were no rebels on the board. Peace resolution. We have a total peace here. Circassia, the Poles removed their claim, so we have here a no unrest left. And we have also the same going on here in Central America. And the most interesting part was down here. So Venice was vassalized. I already mentioned a couple of times under which conditions that can be done. However, in Dalmatia and Crete, no provinces were occupied. Therefore, they also can vassalize these provinces, but there will be unrest in these two areas. The others are just fine. We have a prestige penalty for Spain because of Murcia still in rebellion. Then we have religious dissent, and there was quite a bit going on. So France has the diverse faith in this area, so they're going to lose this. And because the bot wants to flip smaller cities before the large cities, and there, I mean, it kind of makes sense. I actually flipped that one, although it's not in a French position. But, I mean, still, there is an army there. So even if there should be a rebellion, it's not terrible. Here, it could be worse. Because here, if these guys go into a rebellion, the city is lost. If I would have been a human player here, I would have flipped Lyon instead. But in this case, I don't know, I was torn between following the bot rules or not. Nah. I'm really not sure, actually. I think I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to leave it like that. I follow the rules and just flip a small one. Although I think it's a worse decision. The Poles also had a lot of religious unrest. They had 4 regions. They have tolerance, so they only have to bring unrest into 2 of them. They kind of want to avoid their vassal, because again, it is possible if we see a revolution there, that then the region is completely lost. So I flipped Lublin, and I flipped Circassia. I have an army there. And if that region will get lost eventually, it's not that bad. I just want to have, for a short time, 4 ports at the Black Sea to score a couple of victory points. I don't necessarily expect to hold all of them. So if that should get lost, yeah, okay, fine. But I want to hold this area here. And yeah, okay. And the Turks were fine. We're going to roll the rebel dice now. I think it's actually not too bad. The French have to roll 2 dice. They have special bot rolls, so they just roll once, and okay, they lose 2 cubes. There we go. The Austrians only have to roll no, that's not true. They have to roll a couple of dice, actually. So we start with Dalmatia. That costs them a cube. Oh boy. That's not a good start. So I think I'm going to give that one away. Crete. Ah, fuck, that's another cube. I kind of wish they wouldn't have even started this shit. That's painful. I don't know which one I wanna get rid of. You know, I think I'm gonna take this one too. Ah, gosh, I would need tolerance. And Serbia and Albania. Oh, fuck, man, that's another cube. That was bad for the Austrians. They lost 3 cubes. That was horrible. So, okay, what next? The Poles will roll. Start with that one here. And that's nothing. Down here, Bessarabia, nothing. And Circassia, that's a cube. They're going to re-roll that. They have the tolerance. That's again a cube. Bad news. Okay, I get a ton of admin cubes, so I think I want to spend one of them. And the last one here in Eastern Ukraine, that's a rebellion. I'm going to re-roll that. Okay, I lose $2. That's better. So, yeah, I guess that's all when it comes to the rebels. Austria suffered quite a bit here. Okay, so I did all the income, and you know, some realms have a ton of cubes. The Spaniards, actually most of the realms, and the cubes become a scarcity if some realms use a lot of these cards, or if they have influence on the board. So for Spain is out of cubes. And this is there is a component limitation. So they have no more cubes. They managed to just get all of them. But you know, they got extra cubes for the papal curia, they got extra cubes for the imperial authority, and then they have 3 advisors. I mean, it's ridiculous. They have tons of cubes. England, crazy. Spain, I mean, pretty much everybody ended up with tons of cubes now. So these advisors are important, and Spain, I mean, even though they did not have advisors, but they have a very good ruler here with Fernando. And now we score the points for the power struggle and for the uncontested papal controller. So that means Austria gets 3 points for the controller, and yeah, then we go, let's see, we go to page 43 for the power struggle, and that's gonna be pretty tough. I think the Spaniards will lose. The Spaniards and Spain and France will lose, and it will be incredibly great for Austria. Okay, wait a second. There we go. Scoring power struggles. Okay, all players. Okay, scoring battleground areas. So first, let's get this card. And so 1 protects value of provinces they control there. Vassals count as half. Okay, so Flanders and Wallonia, we can totally forget about that. Nobody controls anything there. In the Rhineland, Austria has one province, nobody else has one there. Burgundy is good for France. Lombardy is great for Austria. Venice is great for Austria. Okay, I mean, central Naples isn't bad. They get at least for the vassals, they get a couple of points, the Spaniards. So it's not quite as bad. So let's see. Rhineland gives a point to Austria. Burgundy gives... Is that big? Yeah, so that's 5 points for France. Whoa, that's a lot. Yeah, crazy. 5 points for France. Okay, impressive. Next we have Lombardy. So that is 4.5 points. And I guess this is rounded up. So that means 5 points for, because you always round up. So that means 5 points for Austria. 1, 2, 3. That brings them down here to 32. Venetia, well, we got 1. And then these vassals, that's 2 more. So that's another 3. Incredible. Okay. Central Italy, no one. And Naples, well, that gives Spain 2. Okay. Okay, next. 1 for being the only player with towns or vassals there. Okay, so that means France gets 1 for Burgundy. Austria gets 1 for the Rhineland. Austria gets 1 for here and 1 for there. So 2 more. This is incredible. I mean, that is completely sick. Naples, Spain gets also 1 for Naples. I think that is it. One for having at least an alliance or a marriage there. I didn't realize that. I could have placed... Now, I'm not sure what that actually means. At least an alliance or a marriage. So that sounds a little bit like vassalization is actually more than that. So I think, but that is just my idea. For example, if Spain would have had a marriage with their vassal here, they would not gain additional points. So I think if you only have an alliance or only a marriage with that realm, you get that, but you don't get that in addition. That's the way how I interpret that. So for example, I think that France doesn't get an additional point here. I think that's not happening. So maybe someone else, yeah, if I remember, yeah, maybe someone else could have played a royal marriage there. That would have given them an additional point. I think that does not... Well, actually, France has an alliance with Central Italy. Yeah, that gives them a point. They got an alliance here. I think that's it. Now comes the bad news. Well, first of all, the papal controller scores 2 points. Whoa! I mean, the Austrians are going completely crazy here. That's another 2 points. If France, Castile or Austria has cities in fewer than 2 of these areas, they lose through 3 points. That is a disaster. I mean, overall, this thing was, I mean, okay, the Spaniards, I think overall they lost just a single point. But you know, it could have been so great for them. That was such an opportunity they missed. So they lose basically 3 points now. 1, 2, 3. They don't have any cities anywhere. And yeah, the French also, they only have cities in Burgundy. That's not good enough. So they will also lose 1, 2, 3 points. So, I mean, that was insane. I don't know how many points. The Spaniards nearly scored 20, the Austrians nearly scored 20 points because of that. That was completely sick. They were kind of, I think they were, maybe not quite. They might have been somewhere here or something. But it was something between 15 and 20 points. Absolutely insane. So these Italian wars, these power struggles are a big thing if you prepare for them, and you know, if you really play for them, you can score an incredible amount of points there. Let's take a look at the next one. That's the struggle for the Balkans. So here we have the Hungarian plain, which is already completely controlled by Austria. Oh God, I don't want to know what's going on, man. But the thing is that I think in a way that kind of evens out the problems that Austria has with the exploration. They are they can't basically explore, and therefore that is their way to score additional points. That's the way I see it. But they also have the Holy Roman Empire, so they're not doing bad at all. So it's Royal Hungary, Dalmatia down here. They also already have a vassal there. Croatia and Bosnia, which is, where is that? Oh, that's here. Okay, there's nobody in there. Serbia and Albania down here. And Moldavia. Oh, yeah, that's here. That's, oh, their Poles are sitting in there. So definitely, again, big chances here for Austria. And the player with the most units in the battleground area scores 3 points. If Ottomans or Austria has fewer than 6 cities in these areas, or Poland fewer than 4, they lose 3. Okay, that's not good. Poland needs 1, I mean, they have 2 cities here at the moment. That's going to be difficult. So, but because Turkey is a bot, what we could see now, I guess, usually would be an alliance between Turkey and Poland, right? It would just make so much sense. I mean, the Austrians are completely running away with the game, and therefore I think it would make sense now if these two powers would ally and basically say, look, let's just grab the Balkans, take Hungary away from Austria. These guys are getting too powerful. But because Turkey is a bot, I'm pretty sure this is not going to happen. There might be a chance that they attack anyway, because if they go into a military adventure, the bots often go for the power struggle countries. So I can see it happen. But yeah, and then it's possible that Poland jumps in and says, okay, you know, we attack Austria from multiple sides. And then maybe Spain will also grab a piece here. So there are, I don't know, Austria, you know, if you are that much in the lead, it's possible that players will gang up against you and say, look, this is getting too far. We got to stop you. Maybe we'll see an alliance even between Spain and Poland or something. But I don't know about that. So let's check the 3 next events. Yeah, it's okay. Okay, that is the Portuguese colonization. Place green markers on 3 of Pernambuco, Bahia, the Gold Coast, Angola, Kilwa, Hormuz, and Goa. Okay. Spice trades disrupted. Place a pirate in both the Indian Ocean trade node and the Alexandria trade node. Exhaust all merchants in one of these nodes. Or colonial rivalry. Add unrest to 2 colonies adjacent to the markers that were placed. What is that? Oh, lost at sea. So players might lose a ship. Okay. So the next one is the plague. Yeah, we've seen that. So basically, you got to place a disease marker in one of your areas, and then depending on the money that is sitting here, you can place. I think you can place 1 marker in another adjacent area, and then 1 additional marker for every $2 adjacent to these other markers. So this can become pretty painful. You got to reduce a large city and a small city, and at the end of the turn, the marked areas will only score half income. So if a bunch of money piles up, and if this thing shows up at the start of a round, it is not unlikely that money will pile up there. Then this can become pretty dangerous. And the last one is Suleiman the Magnificent. So we got the great legal reform. Ottomans gain 1 prestige and 2 admin, and may remove 2 what is that? 2 unrest. You gain 1 diplomacy. I mean, that's not bad, but on the other hand, the Ottomans have no unrest. Or commander of the faithful. The Ottoman gain 1 military and a claim in Heras, Iraq or Hungarian plain, and must declare war on a realm which this claim is valid for. You gain 2 military. Now that is insane, and that guy is an insanely strong leader. 3-3-4, that is just crazy. I'm gonna place this guy here, so if he survives the age, which is possible, we might, maybe he still will show up, but I have my doubts, to be honest. What is this? Oh, this is Charles VIII, yeah. I think this guy is dead. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's gone anyway. So let's place him there. Okay, so yeah, it's kind of a shame that the Turks are now controlled by a bot. That is a very interesting period, but maybe we see a clash anyway. So we'll see what happens here. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame. So the last event for now is the inheritance of Mazovia. Poland inherits Mazovia. Any Polish small town on Warsaw develops into a large town. Yeah, that doesn't help. We already have that. If there's a Polish claim, yeah, that's pointless, basically. Mazovian independence. Replace any Polish town or vassal on Warsaw with a Polish truce token instead. Poland gains a claim in the area. Wow, that sucks. And we have a really bad leader. Oh, man. Well, he's pretty much the same. He's exactly the same as the other one. So the Poles don't have that great a leaders, it seems, at least not at that point in the game. Yeah, so that's not good. The Poles want that, I think, and basically just for this single admin cube here. That's a really bad one for the Poles. Okay, I guess we go now to the draw cards phase, play around with the milestones and all, but I'm going to do that off camera. I think I'm actually going to load this up. This is a good point here to do that. We're going to start off with a new round. Yeah. So really a shame that we will see how the bot handles the Turks, but it would be super interesting if the Turks would now be handled by a player, seeing this big clash between Austria, Poland and Turkey. That would be hot. The fact that this might not happen with the Turks might also disencourage the Poles to go to war with Austria. I mean, Austria is... I mean, okay, their army is not that big anymore. We have to adjust manpower. But the Poles also now, they have a lot of cash, they have a big army. So maybe they simply go for it. You know, they could attack Hungary. That would not violate the borders of the Holy Roman Empire. And yeah, maybe they're going to do it. I made a mistake in revealing the event cards. I revealed 4 instead of 3 because for some reason I placed this guy over there, which made obviously no sense at all. So yeah, we have these 3 event cards right now, and this rebellion of Warsaw is now the next one coming up. So I kind of knew what will come up. I know the next card, but okay, that's not such a big deal, I guess. Just these are the 3 cards that we have now to choose from. Okay, yeah, see you on the next video. Bye.